Today, we're diving into a coin that may look like ordinary change, but can actually be surprisingly valuable. The 1976 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, a 1976 Lincoln penny doesn't seem special. It's part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, the same design that ran for decades. But this coin is more than just pocket change if you look closely, especially in the world of coin collecting. So let's break down the history, how to spot value, and what the 1976 penny is actually worth on today's market. History and composition. The 1976 Lincoln penny was minted at 3 U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, Mark D; and San Francisco, marked as for proof coins. Cointrackers.com +2 Old Coin Online +2. Its composition is 95% copper and 5% zinc or tin, weighing 3.11 grams with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. Old Coin Online +2 Antiques Know-how +2 because of those large mintage numbers. More than 4.6 billion pennies from Philadelphia alone and over 4.2 billion from Denver. Most 1976 pennies are common and remain in circulation. Old Coin Online +2 Cointrackers.com +2. Why some are more valuable even though the majority of 1976 pennies are very common. There are a few key factors that can significantly increase their value for collectors. Condition and grade. The coin's grade matters a lot. Lower grade coins that have been in circulation are typically only worth a few cents over face value. U.S. Coins Guide +1, but uncirculated mint state coins, especially those with minimal wear and strong luster, can be worth significantly more. Cointrackers.com +2 Antiques Know-how +2 Color/finish red, red-brown, brown. Collectors often differentiate Lincoln cents by color designations: RD, red; RB, red-brown; and BN, brown. Red, RD, coins, which retain their original red copper luster, are typically most valuable. Antiques Know-how +1 Proof coins from San Francisco. The 1976 S penny was struck only as a proof coin in San Francisco. These have a mirror-like finish and are naturally more collectible. Useacoinbook.com +1 Depending on the grade, proof pennies, especially with deep cameo contrast, can fetch a premium. Old Coin Online High-grade rarity and historic sales. There have been extremely high-grade specimens. For example, a 1976 no-mint mark penny in MS 68 grade reportedly sold for a very high price in the past. CoinValueLookup.com According to CoinTrackers, an MS 65 coin, Business Strike, recently sold for around $18.10. CoinTrackers.com Investor interest in copper. Since the coin is mostly copper, some people hoard these pennies for their metal value. TreasurePursuits.com With rising demand for copper, that hoarding behavior may increase, potentially reducing the coins in circulation, which could affect their collectible value. Current market value, 2025 estimate. Here's a breakdown of how much a 1976 Lincoln penny is worth today, depending on its type and condition. A typical circulated 1976 penny, no mint mark, or D, is often worth around 20 cents or slightly more. Cointrackers.com in uncirculated condition, mint state MS 62 grade might be $2 to $3. Cointrackers.com's 65 goes higher, about $9 to $15 or more, depending on exact coloring. Cointrackers.com's 66 or MS 67, especially in red, can go up to $19 to $30 plus, or even more in some cases. Cointrackers.com extremely rare. MS 68 red coins are exceptionally valuable. According to historical sales, some sold for thousands of dollars. CoinValueLookup.com +2 Old Coin Online +2 Proof 1976 S pennies, roughly $3 to $6 for common proof grades. Useacoinbook.com Deep cameo proofs or very high proof grades can be more valuable. Some listed up to $200 to $400 plus for perfect or nearly perfect specimens. Old Coin Online things to watch /tips. If you have one, examine the date and mint mark carefully. Whether your coin is from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, proof makes a big difference in value. Look at the color. If the penny still has original red luster, RD, It's more valuable than one that has turned brown. Bien. Check for condition. If the details on Lincoln's face, the memorial, or the letters are very sharp, the coin might be uncirculated or high grade. If possible, consider getting your coin graded by a professional, PCGS and GC, or another reputable grading service. A certified grade will help you get a more accurate market value. Be careful if someone offers you a rare 1976 penny for a huge price. Many 1976 pennies are common, so only very special ones. High grade, proof, error, command big premiums. Why this coin still matters? A 1976 Lincoln penny is interesting because it's a modern coin with both historical and material value. It's not rare in everyday circulation, but for collectors, the right example can be quite valuable. Its high copper content also gives it some intrinsic interest for people who follow metal markets. Also, as the U.S. Mint stopped producing pennies in November 2025, some collectors are increasingly watching older 1-cent coins, including 1976 pennies, with more interest. Note, production stopped in 2025, which might affect demand and collector behavior, but that doesn't automatically make all old pennies extremely rare. San Antonio Express News +1 conclusion: if you have a 1976 Abraham Lincoln penny, don't just toss it. It could be worth more than just 1 cent, depending on its condition, mint mark, and whether it's proof quality. Most will only fetch a little above face value unless they're in very good shape or special proof or high-grade coins. But for a small coin, the potential is there, and it's a great piece to show how modern coins can still hold numismatic value. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic: the 1979 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Not just any penny, but one that collectors sometimes value way above its face value. If you've ever dug through your change or found a 1979 penny in a jar, stick around, because you might be sitting on a little treasure. Let's start with the basics. The 1979 penny is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, which features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. This particular penny was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a D mint mark; and San Francisco, with an S mint mark. The San Francisco pieces are special. They're proof coins. Rarest.org +2 cointrackers.com +2 now. Why do some people think a 1979 penny is worth a lot more than 1 cent? The key is its composition. Pennies minted in 1979 are made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. That's important because later pennies change to a cheaper alloy, so the older copper ones have some intrinsic metal value. Rarest.org +2u.s. Coins Guide +2. In fact, just for the copper content alone, a 1979 penny is often worth 2 to 3 cents today. U.S. Coins Guide +1. But of course, when it comes to coin collecting, we don't just care about melt value. Condition, mint mark, and rarity make all the difference. Let's break down the different varieties. 1. 1979 penny, no mint mark. Philadelphia. This is the most common variety. In circulated condition, it's often worth just a little more than face value, maybe a few cents. Antiques Know-How +2 coin identifier +2 in uncirculated condition, what collectors call mint state. Prices go up. According to Cointrackers, a high-grade, uncirculated 1979 penny can fetch up to around $20 or more, depending on its exact grade and color. Cointrackers.com. But here's where things get really exciting. Some very high-grade examples, especially those with red toning (RD), have sold for thousands of dollars. For example, a 1979 no mint mark penny graded MS 68 red was sold at auction for $5,463. CoinValueLookup.com +2 Ned Lud coins +2. That's pretty impressive for a coin that most of us think of as just spare change. 2. 1979 D penny Denver. These also have the same copper composition, but their values follow slightly different patterns. In low to moderate grades, circulated or lightly worn, these pennies are often worth very little, maybe a few cents to $1 or so, depending on condition. Coin identifier +2 Ned Lud coins +2. However, in uncirculated grades, their value climbs. According to some guides, a 1979 D penny in MS67 Plus, a very high mint state, has fetched around $3,995 at auction. Rarest.org, that means if you have a super clean, well-preserved 1979 D penny, it could be worth a lot to the right collector. Point 3. 1979 S-proof penny, San Francisco Mint. These are probably the most interesting in terms of value diversity. Because proof coins are struck with special techniques, they have more detail and are made specifically for collectors. There are two main types for the 1979 S-proof penny. Type 1, filled S, and Type 2, clear S. Cointrackers.com plus 2 Ned Lud coins plus 2, the S mint mark on Type 1 coins is more blurred or rectangular, while Type 2 coins have a sharper, more defined S. Ned Lud coins in very high grades. These proof pennies can be extremely valuable. For example, a PR70, perfect proof, Type 2 1979 S penny has been known to sell for thousands of dollars. In some guides, up to $10,925 in top-tier sales. Coins value even more moderate proofs are valuable. According to Cointrackers, a 1979 S-proof in high mint state can go up to $33.66. Cointrackers.com. So, what drives such a huge difference in value between 1 cent? The main factors are grade, how well preserved the coin is, color/toning, mint mark, and sometimes rarity or auction records. For instance, red-tone coins, RD, are more valuable than those that have turned brown, BN, because they preserve more of the original luster. Antiques know-how is how you might approach figuring out what you have if you find a 1979 penny. First, check the mint mark. Is there a DS, or a nothing at all? That tells you which variety you have. Next, look at the coin surface. Is it worn and dull, or does it shine? Does it still have reddish color, or has it turned brown? Then, think about how you might get it graded if you believe it's very valuable. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade coins, which helps when selling or insuring them. To summarize, most 1979 pennies in circulation are worth more than 1 cent because of their copper content, typically 2 to 3 cents just for the metal. U.S. Coins Guide Common. Circulated 1979 pennies are not very valuable, but uncirculated ones can go for tens to hundreds of dollars. Coin Identifier plus 2 Coin Value Checker plus 2 exceptional coins, especially MS68 red or perfect proof specimens, have sold for thousands of dollars. Coinbelly.com. If you're making this into a YouTube video, you could show close-up images or video of different mint marks, compare color, RD versus BN, and maybe highlight 1 or 2 auction stories of high-value sales to illustrate just how much a simple penny can be worth. Thanks for watching. If you like this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe for more coin stories, and let me know in the comments if you found any rare pennies in your change. Stay curious and keep checking those jars of coins. You never know what you might have.